Prosperity begins at home, like they say. Your worldview begins within yourself. The way you look at yourself is very important to understand other people, other things, and the world. The greatest misfortune in society today is nobody knows answer to the question, who are you? Simply don't know. From there starts the big problem. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is addressing this problem first. In the second chapter, he fully explains this immediately as soon as Arjuna surrenders to Krishna. First thing he says that you're ignorant, you don't know who you are. Asochayan anvasochastvam prajnavadhamscha bhashase gatasum agatasumscha nanusochanti pandita. You talk like you know, but you don't know. This is the real definition of our education. Everybody thinks he knows, but he does not know. Everybody talks like also as though they know, but they don't know. If you know who you are, from there starts knowledge. In the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying that kshetra kshetrajnayor jnanam yattat jnanam matam mama. My opinion is that one who knows matter and spirit, one who knows his body and the occupier and proprietor of this body is the soul, he has knowledge, he has jnana. Right? So you'll see that it starts from understanding who we are. That is the first flaw we have. And because of that, we have a certain worldview that is tearing apart the whole planet. It's tearing apart the whole planet, bringing some of the greatest problems. Understanding you requires within it understanding God. Self-realization happens completely when you actually realize God, who He is, and you know about Him. This is also something very important to know. So, like Chanakya said, the way you look at yourself will depend on your relationship of how you have understood God. Krishna explains this in Bhagavad Gita. So Prabhupada is saying here right in the beginning that human prosperity comes from this knowledge. So 2 points. Knowing yourself entails knowing Krishna. And if you know yourself, then you will come to know the world around you better. You will see through the eyes of knowledge about yourself. Right? So the way you look at the world will be in connection with God and you. In other words, it will be in connection with God, His creation, and you. Now, these are the 3 subject matters that Bhagavad Gita is about. Man, God, and the world, material nature. One who understands these interconnections, he is able to have the correct worldview. So, I want to just explain to you a very popular story. To tell you that to understand God is not a difficult thing. It's very simple common sense. And simple people understand it very easily. And they live a very prosperous, happy life, which is what everybody wants to live. So this story is something that you would have heard. Is Narada Muni is traveling and is meeting a cobbler. I call this story the banana seed. Why? I'll tell you. Narada Muni is traveling and he comes to a place which is a very large banana tree. Banyan tree. Banyan seed. Huge, large banyan tree. You know, banyan tree just grows and grows and covers a large space. Its branches come down and become roots for other trees and like this. So underneath the banyan tree, in a very cozy, cool place, is a cobbler, very busily doing his daily job. But the cobbler has a certain worldview, which is very interesting. Narada Muni chooses to come to this cobbler. He comes to this cobbler, and then he becomes very excited, the cobbler. Am I seeing? What am I seeing? The famous Narada Muni has come to see me. I'm an insignificant cobbler working with pieces of skin. What is happening? So he becomes excited to see Narada Muni. And Narada Muni is also similarly excited that this cobbler is excited about my presence here. So there's an instant relationship with both of them, a strangely intimate relationship. So the cobbler asks, where are you coming from? And he says, I just met with Vishnu, Narayana, and I'm just coming. I thought I'll stop over and greet you. So wonderful, what great fortune for me. And then he said, can I ask you a question, please? Because you're just coming from there and it's so wonderful. I've heard so much about the Supreme Lord. Then he said, can you tell me what was he doing? Can you tell me what was he doing? And then Narada Muni very nicely smiled at him, and with a mischievous look, he explained to him, the Lord, he was threading an elephant through the eye of a needle. You know, a needle, small needle, you have a small eye it has got, you put a thread through that and then you sew. So Narada Muni is telling, the Lord was threading an elephant through the eye of a needle. And then he watched the response of this cobbler. And the cobbler looked at him and he didn't blink an eyelid and said, wonderful, wonderful, my sweet Lord, what all he can do. And Narada Muni asked, are you not doubtful that how can an elephant go through the eye of a needle? And the cobbler said, no, I'm not. I'm not. Look at the hill, look at the vale, look at the valley, look at the rivers, look at the rainfall, the sun, the breeze. Everything is provided by him. Such wonderful thing the sun is. It shines all over and illuminates the entire universe. Isn't that a wonder? Isn't it wonderful that the wind blows and gives us air to breathe and we all live? And it carries the clouds and it rains. Look at the amazing, wonderful thing that God does. And then he pointed to a seed right under his mat he was sitting. And he took that banyan tree seed and said, look at this. Just look at this. So tiny. And inside this tiny seed is packed. This huge tree is packed inside this. Can you see how wonderful this is? He's speaking to Narada Muni. And Narada Muni is so inspired. Wow, what a faith he has in Krishna, in God. And he asked him, don't you think that this is wonderful? He said, yeah, it is really wonderful. And then, of course, Narada Muni, the story says, also bid farewell and went to a Brahmana who was very busy chanting all the shlokas from the Vedas and very busy doing Homa, Yajna, and an anxiety, and then cribbing about this, that, everything, and telling his wife, please do it fast, this, so many things. And when he arrived there, Narada Muni has come. Oh my gosh. He welcomed him, washed his feet, gave him an amazing reception. None of these things the cobbler did. Gave him an amazing reception. And then, yes, where are you coming from? How happy I am to receive you in my house. This is a goal of my life. I am so pleased, etc. And he welcomed him. Then he asked him, what is God doing? What did you go there for, etc. And in answer to the first question, he said, Krishna, Vishnu, is threading an elephant through the eye of the needle. The Brahmana said, what? What did you say? And of course, he said, how can you say these things about God? Is the elephant driver? It's impossible to do these things. How can you? And he didn't believe it. He didn't believe it. And the story goes that Narada Muni later went back to the Lord and said that you asked me to see these two people, I saw them. And this is their answer. Why is it so diverse? Why is the learned Brahmana thinking like this? He has so much knowledge. And why is a simple cobbler having immense faith in you? And when will they return back to you, to Vaikuntha? And the Lord told him, the Brahmana has many more births. But the cobbler, this is his last lifetime. He'll come back to me. That is the story. But look at the amazing wisdom of the cobbler. Amazing faith of the cobbler. He is very much connected with Krishna. Is very much connected with nature. He knows the wonder of nature. And he knows that God can do wonderful things. And everything belongs to God. Everything comes from God. And he is wonderful. And he's connected. His world view is so much in keeping with what God really is. And he has faith in that. So many of us don't have faith so easily in God, in Krishna. Although we read the Bhagavad Gita also, we may not be as good as a cobbler in our faith. I'm not demeaning anybody, but cobbler is obviously not so well educated in Bhagavad Gita or something. Otherwise, he would have been a Brahmana teaching the Bhagavad Gita. He's a cobbler. But his faith, his understanding of interconnectedness of everything in this world, and his capability to see God in even a banana seed, banyan tree seed, that is very amazing. So, actual progress is the progress of simply believing in God, in Krishna. And this does not mean that you're an idiot, you're a fool, and you're not progressive, you're uncultured, uncouth, village guy. All these are the paradigms of thought that we have put into us by an amazing Western civilization. But India is filled with people like the cobbler. In the past, for 1,000 years, the Muslims ruled and they ransacked India and broke all the temples, and it seems some crores of people were killed. Hindus were killed by the Muslims rulers. From Persians onwards down to the Muslim rulers, 1,000 years was ruled. And in the course of time, they destroyed all the educational universities. They threatened and converted people into Muslim religion, and then they killed many those who refused to get converted. Horrible things that they destroyed the temples, everything. And forced people to get converted. Then came the Britishers, who did a greater damage of going into the psyche of everybody and altering it to a westernized thought. More complicated economics, more globally oriented economics. And that economics is based on a worldview that is very destructive to the surroundings. And we are suffering the consequences of that today. We're suffering the consequences of that today. But actually, India was comprised of so many wonderful, small communities filled. And there was a lot of freedom to everybody to live by nature, to live with the supplies provided by Krishna through nature, naturally, very congruently, without any artificiality, without any unnecessary hard work and anxiety, flowing with the plan of the Lord. That is what is the amazing, wonderful civilization and culture that belongs to this land called Bharat. I am not speaking in terms of Hinduism or something like that alone. I'm speaking in terms of the culture, the Bhagavad Gita culture that is given in the Bhagavad Gita. Here he is saying that I created initially men and demigods and sacrifice. What does that mean? That means all the origins of everybody in this world, including human beings. Aham bija prada pita. I am the seed-giving father. And Prabhupada is explaining how God is your father and how the Bhagavatams speaks about Dhyapati, all these different types of fathers he is to you. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Pitahamasya jagato mata data pitamaha. I am your father, I am your mother, I am your grandfather, I am everybody for you. So your relationship with God, if it is on this basis, and if you understand that God is the one that has given us this beautiful creation, and he has set some simple standards how to live by it. Sahi agnya purovacha prajapati anena prasavishyadvam. Prasavishyadvam means prosperity. This prosperity will come to you if you understand me and you understand the arrangement I have made for you. And if you follow that, Prabhupada is describing the process for this day and age as chanting of the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and acknowledging God's presence in your life very strongly and seeing everybody in connection with Krishna and everything with connection with Krishna. So there is a certain connectivity. If you fall into that circuit, then you become very settled, comfortable, and very much happily pursue your spiritual life. People in the past, before the Isolde Muslims and the Britishers came, they were, even after they came to a great extent, they were living in thorough connection with nature, with the surroundings. All of them were farmers and they had small villages, and the center of the village was a Vishnu temple, and everybody glorified the Lord with whatever they had, with their labor, with their wealth, with their learning, with their knowledge, whatever situation they were in. And all the farming and the lands and all the produce was brought to the temple. And everybody knows everything belongs to the Lord. That was their worldview. Isavashyamidam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjita makrida kasya svittanam. The Isavasya Upanishad, the first sloka says, Ishavasyamidam sarvam. Everything belongs to the Supreme Lord. Yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjita. You should take what you require from that, because there is plenty, abundant. Why? It's all coming from the Lord. There is no question of shortage at all. You mean to say your father does not know how to look after his children? There is never any shortage. There's always plentiful supply. And this is the experience of people before the Mughals and the Britishers came inside. In India, nobody worried. There was no economic problem. There were no beggars. This is observed by Max Muller and is observed by many. They said that this place is so rich. In 1782, there is this lady, starting with L, her name I forget, who came up to Pune, and she wrote in her chronicles, in her presence in Pune, she saw that every house has got so many servant maids. The Indians live very opulently. And every servant maid is covered with gold from her shoulder till her elbow, and from again with a space from the elbow till their wrists. And then on the feet, from the knees to the shin, they are full of ornaments of gold. And these are laborers. These are servant maids in the house. And added to that, they had earrings and nose rings and necklace, everything. Plentiful was given to the servant maids. Here, keep it, wear it, enjoy. So plentiful, abundance, and crops growing and huge produce. Everybody will have everything in their house full, for eating especially. Clothing, food, shelter. There was never any shortage for anybody in society. This she observed and she wrote about it. And this has been the history. Why? Because their world view is everything belongs to God. And like it's mentioned here, Krishna is saying, Anena prasavishyadvam yesavo ishtakhamaduk. Whatever your desire is, that can be satisfied within this system that I put. Recognize me, recognize the demigods, recognize the process of sacrifice in the system that is set up, and perform in that circle. Evam pravartitam chakram nanu vartayati hayah aghayur indriya ramo moham partha sajivati. This circle is set up. And if you follow it, you will become very, very happy. And you will get your material desires satisfied, and you'll also become spiritually perfect. Because this is what your Father desires for you. He is responsible for you, and he wants to make everything available to you according to Ishta Kama Duk. Ishta means your desire. Kama, everything will be satisfied. So abundance mentality they call about. Abundance mentality was there in all these Vedic followers. They gave in plenty charity. Plentiful charity they could give. It's mentioned that Nanda Maharaj, when Krishna was born, he is in a cowherd village. Main business was farming and cowherding. It's mentioned that when he was born, he gave away hundreds and thousands of cows with gold horns, decorated with silk and hoofs plated and everything, and necklace and everything. So beautiful. He gave away thousands of cows in charity. Plentiful. Never any feeling of, paucity of any of these possessions. They had plenty. Why? Because they know Krishna is a supplier. And they used everything only as much as I need only. No greedily hoarding things and putting it and locking it up and selling it and making money. It was not required. Those type of economic thoughts were not there. The word economics comes from the word economia. I think it's a Latin word. Economia means household prosperity. That in every house they had clothes to wear, they had jewels, they had grains, they had cows, they vegetables, fruits, everything in plenty. And they were eating very nicely. Tastiest of things cooked in pure ghee and milk, butter, yogurt, and all the vegetables and everything cooked so nicely, fresh from the farm. And life was so good. There's no chance of coronavirus coming there. There's absolutely no chance, because they're following what Krishna said, right? So this was their culture, and their culture was never to harm anybody, never to harm any other living being. They will live in harmony with everybody. All other living beings are my brothers and sisters. Even trees, they knew, are living beings. And they would worship Ashwatha tree. The banyan tree was worshipped. The tulasi tree was worshipped. All these trees were worshipped. Why? Because they know the trees are doing a great job for us. The trees, because of the tree, there is good soil, there is water, there is rain. And because of that, we can get grain, pure air. It's an air purifier, the tree. And its roots go down and down and down. And an amazing thing has been found recently, that all trees are interconnected underground. The roots go and meet each other, and there's a lot of information going from one tree to the other. Mitochondria. I think I got it right. The bacteria or the virus, bacillum, It's responsible for communicating to the tree, and they have some give and take going on there, and all the trees are connected underneath. All of them are connected. And there's a lot of information and data being transferred between the trees. And they know about the weather. They got the latest news about what's happening there to our so-and-so family member, and where he's not getting this. And they interconnect and supply to that particular tree. And some particular, they know everything. It's very amazing. These trees are just standing like that. So trees are life. Trees are glorified a lot in Vedic literature. And you will see that all the people knew trees are life, the rivers are life, the mountains are life, sun is life. And then all these are very valuable to us, and they were all worshipable. These are all demigods. Sun is a demigod worth worshipping. And the wind is a demigod. Rain is sent by Indra. The mountains are living entities. The trees are living entities. The rivers are living entities. They would worship Ganga, Kaveri, Narmada. All of them are worshipable. Yamuna. They are worshipable. So the impersonal viewpoint is not there, but all these are living, throbbing part of a whole ecosystem. And everybody is working in that ecosystem, in that Evam Pavartitam Chakram, very actively. Just like I explained to you, the trees are connected. The rivers are connected with the trees. And all the species of life are in buzz in the same wavelength. And there's a big ball of energy. It's connected. It's buzzing, alive, breathing. The whole nature is buzzing with activity. Lots of things are going on there. But you look what has happened to us. What brash, brutish human beings. They kill other living entities. They deforest the place. They cut off the trees. Because trees are looked at as wealth. There are three ways the forests are useful. It's mentioned, one is called Shrivan. The other one, what is it called? One is Shrivan, one is Tapovan, and one is Mahavan. Three ways the forests are looked at in Vedic literature. Shrivan means it's prosperity. Because like I told you, the tree gives you pure air, the tree gives you clear water, the tree gives you good soil. All this the tree does. It stands there, and in Vedic culture, the tree is a great servant of humanity. It just stands there and does a lot of service to everybody. And it's happy in doing it. So you'll see all of these members of the system are all givers. They like to give into the system, and they take only what is required. And the whole system works by each other giving and taking. Material nature, you give and you give back. You take and you give back. That is a beautiful understanding of system. That is the real economics. The real economy is this. The real economy is not chopping off the trees. The real economy is not using and mining the ground, the earth, and taking out and ripping out all the minerals and ripping out oil and then draining the water, building dams and getting energy and sucking out of nature and making money out of it and becoming rich and bossing over others and making life difficult for all other living beings. And that they call as economy, and progress in that economy will invariably mean you have to become very greedy, highly exploitative, highly manipulative. And this is what you're taught. Business administration means how to manipulate matter and the resources around you and make money out of it. But you look at the rich culture of selflessness that man had being part of that ecosystem. He was considered to be the most advanced of all living beings. And he should definitely know how it is working. And he knew how it was working. That is called education. And then he would make sure that he's contributing immensely and letting that ecosystem function very well. And anybody in Indian society, I mean, let's not say Indian, the Bharat society and previous times, is very sensitive to anything that's happening in this system. And he immediately notes something is wrong. Something is wrong. Somebody is doing something wrong. Or we need to do something for somebody who needs it. Everybody makes out quickly. It doesn't require some great tantra, mantra, and voodoo magic to know this. Because everybody is tuned into the system, they are very sensitive to it. I think I told you that before the tsunami that appeared, they found that hundreds and thousands and lakhs and crores of bees buzzed and went away from that place, crossed the beaches and went to safe areas. 24 hours before the tsunami occurred, this happened. And then birds were shrieking in a particular way before the tsunami came and warning other people. It's only mankind who was not able to hear it. He's not in tune. Everybody else got warned. It affected only human beings because he was not tuned. It's very amazing to me. The way Krishna operates is, this is the rascal who does the maximum damage. Punishment is only for him. And everybody knew God is punishing human beings. All the other birds, insects, everything were freed from it because they got advance notice. Isn't it very amazing that there is living, breathing, pulsating nature? That's why in the British times, you know what they did? They were dirty people, like I said, exploitative, manipulative. They saw that India had rich forests. It's a peninsula, right? It's a very rich forests with rivers and everything and thick, forests. So they actually started taking over the forest and owning it. That's when they started the Forest Act, India Forest Act. And they slowly chased the people away who were in the villages in all these places and being part of this thing. And they took over the forests. Why? They saw the forest as big money. And they started felling the trees and sending all the wood to Britain and making huge money out of it. So many thousands and thousands of acres of forest they started just for funding the Second World War. I mean, when is that war? Yeah, itself they deforested some 70,000 acres. Billions of acres, actually. They deforested and they knew that India has got great wealth in terms of forests, rivers, mountains, gems, stones, everything. There's something about this land. And they deforested. From then onwards, today you'll see Forest College, this is forest zone and all that. The government is also looking at it only in terms of this. Growing teakwood trees, cutting them and selling them and growing, that's all they think about the forest. They think of economy and making money. This is called Shrivan type of looking, that it's giving prosperity. But if it's giving prosperity, you must also return it by looking after it. But it's giving, let's take more and more and more. That is the mentality. But in Vedic times, people would take what is necessary and give back. The trees were worshipped. The trees were hugged. Even recently, Sundarlal Bahugana, he started the Chipko movement in Uttarakhand. When deforestation started there, for the sake of making money and economy, all of the village people said, we won't get out from here. It's our place. You can't cut the trees. The trees give us pure air. The trees give us good soil for cultivation and agriculture. The trees give us pure water. It's all interconnected. So they went, it's called Chipko. And all the ladies started going and hugging the trees. And they didn't allow them to cut the trees. It's such a movement, it got all over the world. Love for trees. It's very amazing. Trees are, if you look at, they are so nice. They're so nice. Trinadapi sunichena taroriva sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sada harihi. Lord Chaitanya said, the tree's nature is taror eva sahishnuna. Taror means tree. Sahishnuna means tolerance. The tree's branches are cut. People come and sleep under the tree, spit on the tree, mess the tree up, climb on the tree. They do that, they do this. And go, it's just tolerant. I'm happy to give you what you want. If you want my branches, if you want my leaves, if you want my fruits, take them. It's for you. I tolerate even mistreatment you did for me. Taroriva sahishnuna. So tree is great character. So in this way, everything in nature is great character. The trees, the Mother Earth is the greatest of all characters. She is worshipped, Bhumi Devi. This is our culture, right? This is our culture. There's a nice story of the trees. The whole nature was interacting very much. You will see in the Mahabharata that Parvati was reborn as a daughter of the Himalayas. Ganga, she came from the heavenly planets. Alakkananda. And her coming is a great event. She said, I'll come with such force, who can take me? Bhagirath had gone to request this, and then Lord Shiva agreed, and he tied her up in her. It's a story of Ganga. Ganga is a river, a personality. Kaveri is a river, a personality. Gangai cha yamanai chaiva godavari narmade sindhu kaveri jale asmin sannidhim kuru. This is what in every Brahmin's house they will chant before taking bath. Oh Ganga, Yamuna, Kaveri, all of you, Yamuna, please come and rest here in this water. Let me take bath with your water. This is how we purify water. Gangaicha, Yamanaichaiva, Godavari, Narmade, Sindhu Kaveri, Jale Asmin, Sannidhim Kuru. Sannidhim, please be present here. In that famous pastime of the Radha Kund pastime, Lord Krishna, when Radharani and the gopis said, you have killed Arishtasura in the form of a bull, and that is Gohatya, you are contaminated, you go and take bath in all the Tirthayasas and come back. And Krishna said, oh really? I should go to all the Tirthas? Fine, no problem. And then he dug his heels into the ground. And all the gopas were watching with his flute and his hand on his this thing. He dug like this. And he dug his heels and made a small this thing. And then he called all the Tirthas. Please come and fill up. All the Tirthas came. Thousands and thousands of Tirthas from all over the planet. Ganga, Yamuna, this thing, that place, this place. Everybody came and filled up and prayed obeisances to Krishna and filled up. Fine. Not just Ganga, Yamuna. Everybody I have called and they have come and he took bath. They're all personalities. They're all personalities. This is a big change in the way we look at the world and look at nature. These are all personalities. The river, the hill, the trees, the sun. They are like you and me. So imagine looking at them as spirit souls and who are helping us by maintaining this ecosystem for my sake. I am so indebted to you. And they hug the trees, the farmers. They have feeling. They have a feeling and emotion for the earth. They have a feeling and emotion for the tree. And they take a fruit and they thank the tree. How sweet you are, how generous you are, how nice you are. You're giving me this fruit. In the beautiful Bhagavatam, it is mentioned, Krishna and the Gopas and Balarama are all walking through the beautiful forest of Vrindavana. Right? At that time, all the trees are bending low. Seeing Krishna and Balaram, they are bending and offering their namaskaram, obeisances. And the fruits are all coming down low. You can imagine that all the trees are bending when they're walking. They're paying namaskaram, namaskaram to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna is telling, see, Balaram, they are all paying obeisances to you. You are their creator. You are everything for them. And how wonderful these trees are. and he'll glorify the trees. These are all wonderful sages, great sages, who have come here in the form of trees, and they're paying service to you by giving you shade, by giving you fruits, by giving you leaves, and holding the earth together with the roots. It's a beautiful series of shlokas in the Bhagavatam. Krishna is glorifying the trees. And in the Bhagavatam, there's this beautiful story of the Prachetas, sons, 100 sons of King Prachina Bhari, who will go to the forest to perform austerities under the instruction of their father, who is Prajapati. And he says, first go and worship Vishnu and seek his blessing so that you can fill the world with population. They'll go and perform austerities underwater for many thousands of years. And then when they come up, they will see the whole earth is covered by a mangle of trees and creepers and this and that, and they'll get angry. What is this? And with their anger, they'll burn up the trees. And then they are told that this is not correct. You should not do this. And they are stopped. And then Vishnu tells them, you don't worry. You are my devotees, right? So whatever has happened. Now you get married to the daughter of the trees. The trees have a daughter, Marishi. And the Lord Vishnu will tell you, get married to the daughter of the trees. So what does it mean? If you get daughter to the married of the trees, the trees all become your in-laws. So the Lord desired that you best, because you did this job like this, better you serve the trees by becoming their in-law, and they will become your in-laws. You marry the daughter of the trees. And you can see here, she will submit herself according to Brahma's and Vishnu's direction, and Prachetas will get married to this daughter of the trees. This is the Bhagavatam. This is, you see, interaction between trees and human beings. Getting married. And it seems in North India and even in South India, I think, before any marriage occurs, they'll go to the forest and worship the tree. Because they have a belief that the in-laws will be good to my daughter if I worship the trees. In many places, they worship the tree before the marriage. The whole party will go with all this deepam, everything. They'll put kumkum and all on the tree. They'll go around and do pradakshina. They'll put a cloth around the tree. They'll do arati. Look at, and when people watch this, they think, oh, these Indians are so stupid. They worship the tree. They should cut the tree and sell it and make money and eat chicken and mutton. What's the problem? Why are they worshipping the trees? These people are so stupid. They're stuck with poverty, and they're looking after the cow and worshipping the cow and brushing the cow and all that. Silly people. Cut the cow and eat it. There'll be no poverty. This is the economy that they do. But in India, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't. It's worshipable. Why? Because they have a personal relationship with Krishna's creation and that ecosystem. So this is the worldview of this land. And today, what are we doing? What are we doing? We send our children to these schools where they teach you how to take from nature, how to mine and join the business of mining, take out all the precious stones and sell it and convert everything to money. And as though by having a lot of money, you're going to feel very happy. And what's happening is, the more they do this, the more unhappy people are becoming. People are horribly in anxiety nowadays. But those days, children were running around playing, and there was patashala everywhere. Education is free. Nobody was having money. Education is free. Every Brahmana's house is patashala. It seems there were lakhs and lakhs of patashala in one small town. One village had some 50,000 patashalas. And you can choose whichever you want to go to. Whatever you know that Brahmana, he has come to my house, he knows. Yeah, come. Free education. Free education. Everybody is educated. Very well educated. And for different types of education also they have. For a Shudra also there is education. For a Kshatriya there is education. For a Vaishya there is education. For a Brahmana there is education. Wide variety of education. Every place. And everybody will produce all these amazing things. Steel. In India, the best steel in the world was being produced. Swords were made in India. It was world famous. People were coming here to buy swords. Knives. World's best steel. And the Britishers took the steel technology from here, took to Britain and closed some of these steel here. That's why even today, steel means India. Today, steel has again become India, taken over even in the UK. But originally it was from here. And then shipbuilding, which the Britishers used all the wood from India for their shipbuilding and for war on the seas. They used huge amount of forests for building ships. And Indians were expert at building ships. They won't deforest unnecessarily. They will only deforest places where actually it's already dying. They were very careful about all these things. They will use the wood nicely and build ships and sail into the seas. Shipbuilding, textiles. All these were not produced under one big country called India. There was no one country. There was just a whole lot of communities around temples, so many. And inside each community was patashalas and education going on, and some particular technology each community was good at. These people are all good at textiles. These people are all good at stones and mining and everything. These people are all in this area are good in steel. And these people are all very good brahmanas, the education people. Like that, you have all sorts of communities everywhere. And nobody was trying to bring one person under the other person. Everybody was sharing. You don't have that? I can give you this. You can give me that. And both are happy. Both are very happy. I give you steel, you give me cloth. You give me silk, I give you this cloth. All sorts of things. So it was very high technology and materially most prosperous. Anena prashavishyadvam. If you follow this, you'll become materially very prosperous. And ishtakama duk, all your desires will be nicely satisfied. You'll have great security. And all this wealth is for you to come back to me. The business of life is to go back to Krishna. So look at what we do nowadays and look at the worldview then. And now slowly science is also discovering the soft portion of material nature, the real swabhava of material nature. So highly sophisticated, very tender, very, very filled with personalism, very much filled with love towards the trees, towards the river, towards the hills, to the valley, vale, birds. Everybody had love for each other because Krishna was the center. Automatically, they would love each other. Automatically, they would love each other. This is the story of the third chapter in the Padma Purana. In the Padma Purana, the story shows how the person will want to know why in this particular region the snake and the frog are helping each other. What a strange place this is. Normally in the forest, the frog will immediately be eaten by the snake. But in this place, the frog has a problem and the snake is helping the... He said, what a strange place this is. And then the monkey who's sitting on the tree tells that, I'll tell you the story, go and speak to so-and-so sage in that place, he will tell you. Then he goes to that place and he says, I came to this place because it's so peaceful and quiet and there is no hatred of, and there is no feeling of greed or anything. And how it is like that? Because the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita is carved in stone here and is being chanted from so long. And that vibration of the Bhagavad Gita, all these creatures hear that and they all love each other. They help each other. The snake even doesn't think the frog is a food. This is the story even in the Bhagavad Gita and the Padma Purana. So actually, although in material nature, you will see one is food for the other and they do eat, They also keep away. They don't eat too much. They don't like store. They don't do all these things. After they have eaten, they'll be nice to the frog. My stomach is filled. No problem. I'm not going to harm you. When I want, I will eat. Otherwise, I'm friends with you. It's very interesting. Otherwise, I won't do anything to you. And the frogs also know this fellow has filled his belly, so it is now dangerous. Let me go next to him and hop and jump, no problem. It's like that. A very good understanding. It's only the human being, the Kali Yuga human being, is got out of the circle and harasses everybody. Right? So Krishna's laws state very clearly, if you follow my law, if you follow the system that I've set up, you will be. So Bhagavad Gita helps us to get a proper world view. This is the way to look at the world. Not exploitatively, can I make money by this? Can I take this contract? Can I? Everybody thinks in terms of money when they see another person. They think in terms of how can I benefit from this person? Can I use his wealth? Can I use his influence? Can I use that out of this? Immediately they assess people. The radar assesses the person. Can he give me sense enjoyment? Can this person be useful to me? This is the dirty worldview that we have developed from our educational system and from our economy. But right in the opposite direction is Isavasham idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. That is the type of worldview. Right? And what is that? Everything belongs to the Lord. Take what you want and live happily. I'm willing to help you. I'll help you, you help me. And there is plenty. Why we have to fight? And so much can be produced from the earth. Unlimited supplies. Anytime you plant a seed, it will grow. In this thing, rains will come and it will keep on producing. Earth is such a wonderful factory. So all the minerals, oil, and name it, trees and flowers and fruits and grains and everything comes. Magic. So what that cobbler observed is that, can't you see the beauty and the wonder of material nature and God's creation? Everything is provided. Unfortunately, we fail to see this today. We see the wonder of the earth, that you plant one small seed, it grows and gives you 1,000 seeds and fruits. Look at how Mother Nature reciprocates with you. One seed you plant, pour a little water, little bit of water, comes out and then it gives you, here, take. You planted one seed, here I'm giving you. Sun shines, rain comes, and that living being grows and provides for you. Thank you. Here, you gave one seed to Mother Earth. She's giving you 1,000 seeds and thousands fruits and thousands of flowers in return. That as soon as the learned, educated soul sees that, he feels emotionally related to his Mother Earth. I am so happy. I want to acknowledge you. I want to do something for you. That's how they look at it. They have a personal relationship with Bhumi. Before the Kurukshetra war was fought, Arjuna paid obeisances to Bhumi and took her blessings. On you, I'm going to perform this act of providing for dharma. Please bless me. And the Bhagavad is a brilliant story of earth. The story of King Vena and Prithu Maharaj. Very beautiful story. So many lessons to learn from that. In that story, the father of King Vena, I forget his name. His name is Asamanjasa, I think. He, after a long time, got a child. But his wife is the daughter of Mrityu, death personified. So, although he was a very great personality, he conceived in her a child who was a deadly person. He was very nasty and very cruel. From his young days itself, he used to play with the children. And while playing itself, he will fight them and kill them. Every day, he'll kill 1 or 2 people and throw them in this thing and come. Nobody wants to play with him. Children will be killed by him. He likes that, to kill them. He's such a terror. And he grew up And he became the king, naturally. Father saw that I got such a son and he ran away to the forest. So sad he was. He said, the son is the reason for me to renounce and go away and become Krishna conscious. He left even without telling everybody and ran away to the forest. People knew the father has left because he got such a son. They said, what to do? We have to make him, somehow it was required, and people were suffering without a leader, so they made him the king. As soon as they made him the king, he did everything right against what Bhagavad Gita says. Don't worship the Brahmanas, don't worship the demigods, don't ask for this. Nonsense. I am the person whom you should worship. I am the king. I am only giving you everything. And then he started, stopping the Brahmanas and killing people, and horrible things he started doing. So all the rishis and sages and the Brahmanas, they came to him and said, I think you're doing something wrong. You're the king. You must not do this. You must look after the people. They're dependent on you. You teach them about God, and we are here according to what you want. We will teach them. We know the. And he did not listen. He said, to hell with you. Who are you to teach me? You don't know? The Vedas are all wrong. I am God. I should be worshipped. They said, enough is enough with this fellow. He needs to be treated. So they just chanted mantra. Dabak, he fell down dead. It's such powerful mantra. The Brahmins, they are respecting him very well. Kshatriya, you are king. We respect you. Tell us how to help you. And you are telling God is wrong, Vedas are wrong, to stop the service to Brahmanas and all that. They chanted mantra, patak, he fell down. Dead. Then they chanted mantra and used a rod and churned the thighs. His thighs they churned. Look at the power they had. From his thighs came a dirty, short-looking fellow with square face and curly hair. And he is supposed to be the first hunter race clan, Nishada. In the forest, you'll see these type of people shooting animals and killing them and eating. All the sins of King Vena came into that Nishada, and he ran away into the forest. Then they further churned the body of the dead Vena. From there came Prithu and his wife Atri. And Prithu Maharaj is the incarnation of the Supreme Lord, Shakti Avesh Avatar. These Brahmanas did that by chanting, and they knew the Lord has appeared to save us, and he's answered our prayers. After King Vena, life has become so tough. He has come to answer. And then Prithu Maharaj ruled. That's why our earth plant is called Prithvi after him. Prithu and his wife Atri. They ruled beautifully. As soon as he came, all the citizens came and he was praised and everything. And he was so humble. And then the citizens came to him and cried, we have no food. He said, why? King Vena ruled in such a way that seeds all disappeared. No seed to plant. And therefore no crops. And we're all dying of hunger. And he felt very bad. Oh, I don't know this. I must immediately do something about it. And then he asked the Brahmanas and the Rishis and sages. They did prashna and everything, found and said, earth, Bhumi, is hiding all the seeds, not giving. They said, what? It is her duty to give. Do the yajna. And they did all the yajna and sacrifice. And then he expected Bhumi to give crops and seeds and crops and food, grains. Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyat anna sambhavaha yajnat bhavati parjanyo yajna karma samudbhava. So, this is a process. So, even then she did not deliver the seeds. So, Prithu Maharaj in anger, he addressed her, Bhumi, watch out. My people are suffering. They need food. Where are all the seeds? Deliver them. And she disguised herself as a cow and started running away. No, I won't give. You kings are all like this. She got so affected by King Vena and said, all of you horrible people. I don't want to take the burden of you kings on me, full of lies, full of horrible, brutish behavior. What all he did, I don't believe. And so she ran away. So Prithu Maharaj chased her on a chariot And it's mentioned, it said that if you don't deliver, I'll kill you. Don't think I'll not kill you. You're another demigod. Bhumi, I will not hesitate to finish you. Then she appealed and said, I'm a woman, Stri. How can you kill me? It does not matter whether you're Stri or not. You do your job. If you don't do your job, I won't see whether you're a woman or Stri or whatever. I'll kill you. Watch out, I'll do it. And he aimed the arrow and he said, here it goes. You'll die. Then she got very afraid and said, okay. Then I said, why don't you do it? Then she surrendered to Prithu. And she said, actually, I am so afraid. I have no security. And that's why from all these people, I want to hide everything, minerals, seeds, this, everything. I'm not delivering anything because I'm so disappointed there's no proper leadership. So he said, I promise you, I will look after you. I promise you security. If there's any difficulty, I'll be the first person to come and protect you. Believe me, I promise you this protection. Look after my praja, deliver the seeds to them. And in this way, there's a big story of how it was done, and all of them became prosperous. He challenged Bhumi. And then again, Anena Prashavishyadvam, prosperity reigned like nothing, wonderfully. So this is the story. These are all real life stories of people relating with nature. And that is the type of association they had on this planet. This is the history of India, Bharat. It's recorded in the scripture. It is recorded in these books. It happened because everybody has a very close relationship with God's creation. So you can imagine, that is why Krishna is saying, my devotee sees me everywhere. He sees me everywhere. Why? He sees me in the mountain, in the tree, in the stream, in the sun. He sees me and my energy manifesting themselves for the sake of him and provision for him. So he has great respect for nature because he sees is connected with Krishna. Maya adhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetunanena kaunteya jagat viparivartate. Bhumi is the wife of Vishnu, Bhuma Devi. Right? So this is the culture. This is the way to be Krishna conscious. If a worldview becomes Krishna conscious, and if you see everything nicely, and if you use everything properly, this world will become a wonderful place to stay in. And we should start that in this day and age by Prabhupada is saying, by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is the prescribed yajna for this age. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. Change your worldview. Bring Krishna into your life. Become Krishna conscious, and you'll see everything differently. And this world will become a better place. The world will change with every one of us changing our attitude inside and changing our worldview, factoring Krishna into our lives. And our view will change. We will not hate anything. The Isa Upanishad says, if you see connection with Krishna, nobody or anything will you hate. Everything has got a purpose. Everything is connected. Right? So you can imagine now with this understanding why there is coronavirus attacking us. I was thinking this very much today. Our cow delivered a calf yesterday night at 2:30 in the night. They told me the day before yesterday, anytime she'll deliver. I said, I'm so happy to be there. So early morning, they sent me a message, Maharaj, beautiful female calf waiting to get your darshan. So today I went to the Goshala. They have a very cute looking small, and the mother, her name is Saraswati. It seems it is her 8th kid she is delivering. Beautiful mother she is, full. She gets very good food here. All sorts of varieties of things, looked very nicely. And the kid was so cute, but pretty huge. And they gave me, she's just delivered and she's going to take a bath at 3 o'clock. We've already given her hot soup. This thing is given, and now you can feed this. So they gave me all this 5 grains powder and some pellets and everything. So I personally fed. And she was eating so voraciously, very tired, having delivered the child. So while I was feeding, I was thinking, so wonderful. As a personality and mother. Atmamata Gurur Patni, what is it? Rajapatnika Dhenur Dhati Tata Prithvi Saptai Tamatra Smrita. Atmamata Gurur Patni Brahmani Rajapatnika Dhenur Dhatri Tata Prithvi. All these are your mothers. Bhumi is your mother. Cow is your mother. Nurse is your mother. Your biological mother is also your mother. Guru's wife is your mother. The queen is your mother. The cow is your mother. Like this, all these are to be respected as good as mother. There's a relationship we have. So when I was feeding the cow, I was thinking, this is mother. I'm happy to be, oh, you got a snap. I'm happy to be here with the cow. This is the new kid. You can see, was trying to get up and stand. It is trying to stand. And the mother was looking up very affectionately. So I had the opportunity to feed, and others also joined me, and we did a lot of feeding for the mother. She had a nice bath afterwards with hot water and everything. I was just thinking how human beings are very closely connected with animals, with trees, with rivers, with hills, with nature. And if we can recognize that connection, society will become so wonderful. And everybody will live very prosperously, right? So Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada wanted the whole world to do that. He said, 1 cow and 1 acre of land, a family can easily survive. You don't need to work in these factories. He said, I want to show people how to live off the land and the cow. It's magic, he said. Krishna is providing it. Why do you live such horrible anxiety-filled lives? Going to work somewhere, working under some person, and full of different types of competitive spirit and hatred and envy and greed filling you. Such high toxic atmosphere is built up. But just the opposite with nature's and Krishna's arrangement. So these communities, Prabhupada spoke about them and said, simple living, high thinking communities. He wanted us to make the simple living, high thinking community. So we are trying to do that here in Coimbatore. We're building a temple here and establishing housing around and doing farming and having children's school. And this is all our plan to teach people this worldview so that we will culture people the right way and create a great civilization. This is Prabhupada's desire. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. Any question, any comment people would have, I'll be very happy to try to clarify it for you. Okay? Yes. There is a question here from Sri Lalita. Is saving money wrong? Does it become hoarding? Also, is it okay to invest in share market for devotees? Well, I think you're asking me consultancy for certain things. You must understand the main point, Sri Lalita ji. The main point is that today, wealth is in currency. Of course, now it's gone into cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and all that, and all sorts of things are happening. It's becoming even more finer and ephemeral and difficult. But the fact that money, as soon as money came into human society in the form of currency, all relationships between people got spoiled. This is record. You will see that in history. As soon as money came inside, everything got screwed up. This is the Western civilization's global economy plan to bring everybody under control of one type of people, the West. But I'm questioning this type of economy. Of course, now I cannot tell you don't save money, throw it to the winds. It's after all paper. I cannot say that. It's definitely required for you to maintain your house, your family, your children, your parents. Many things are there, and we're all dependent on that. But gradually, we should change this culture. Yeah, nothing wrong. In India, there are supposed to be people who have that saving tendency. Money needs to be saved, but if you're growing from the ground and keeping, you save only seeds. They'll just save the seeds and keep. When the climate is good, they'll plant it and they'll get unlimited amount supplies. The saving is already done by Krishna in Mother Earth and in the cow. Cow will deliver milk to you, will give you cow dung, give you cow urine, so many benefits, so rich. So really speaking, they don't think of saving in Vedic times. They only save the seeds and plant further. Simple. But nowadays we are in such an economy, you have to save money, we have to hoard the money and keep it for future. And it is necessary for all grahasthas to bother about your future. Yes, you can, you must. About investing in share market, it's not nice because it's like equivalent to gambling. It gives you a lot of anxiety. So these things can be better advised by some grahasthas who may be doing this. I am not in a position out of experience to tell you. Shanmugam, excellent speech, Maharaj. Thank you. Thank you, Shanmugam ji, for your appreciation. Sujata Menon, I want my life in an ashram or Guruvayur temple. You are welcome in Guruvayur. We are building a community also. We have land 3 acres immediately behind the temple on the West Nada. Unfortunately, some people around filed some court cases. Now it's all settled up. And you very well can come and stay and take part in the community. Shanmugam ji, Shanmugam Priya. Well, no, I'm sorry, Sujata Menon said so. Pramila Krishnan, nature never did betray the hand that loved her. William Wordsworth. Ah, great. Nice quote. Nice. There is a nice quote of Lord Byron also, Dr. Pramila instantly. Not that I love man less, or something like that. Not that I love man less, but just that I love nature more. Not that I love man less, but it's just that I love nature more. Something like that. A lot of these British poets had very close connection with nature and gave some interesting highlight of their association with nature. Yes, thank you. Krishna Kumar ji, okay, BVS Zoom participant can raise hand. Very beautiful session about the worldview and the attitude changes. Somya. Thank you, Somya. I hope you're doing fine. Very happy to listen to your speech. Anup M. Rao. Thank you, Rao ji. Hariharan, Hare Krishna Maharaj. What happens at the time of death? At the time of death, you leave this body, and if you have done devotional service to Krishna, then Krishna will look after you. And if it's necessary for you to go to another body and perform devotional service further, he'll do that for you. And if you have not been a devotee, then at least according to your punya and your papa, you'll get the next body according to your karma, and you'll carry on life again. That's what happens at the time of death. As spirit soul, there is no death for you, only the body dies. Where would soul go after coming out of the body? Depends on the karma of the person. There is a destination for the soul according to your activities of sinful activity in case you have done. I know you're not a sinful person, so Hariharanji. But if you have done that, then you'll have to reap the results for that. Pious activity you have done, you also get the results of that. If you have done devotional activity, but you have not completed it, then that also you'll be giving a chance to pursue it further. It all depends how you are situated. Then why there are so many diseases these days? Because of what I told you till now. You lost connection with the ecosystem. You lost connection with Krishna's setting. You lost connection with Krishna, and you become a product of this world, of this economy, which is cruelty to the surrounding around you, to all other living entities who are so much dependent on you, and they can easily do something to them. So you show your power, and because of all that, nature reacts. The demigods react to you and punish you. That's what these diseases are coming. Because of sinful activity, the diseases come. Are ghosts real? Yes. What you mean by ghosts is just the subtle body and the spirit soul without the gross body. That's all ghost is. Nothing great. Ghost means no gross body. That's all. Nowadays, some of them says that they send a satellite and saw what is in space. Is that real? Maybe. Some which planet they went to, I don't know, really. They are claiming you can go to Mars, you can go to this. I don't think Chauai, Budan, Shani, Chandran and all are waiting to receive you, because people from this planet are such low-class people, so sinful people. You can never go to other planets. When man landed on the moon, they said in 1969, Prabhupada said not possible for these people to go there. These meat-eating people, killing the cow and eating, you can't go to moon. You think moon is your grandfather's place? You just got married to so-and-so and it's your in-laws' place that you can go there? No, you need qualification to go to the moon. Moon is a sophisticated planet. Right? So, as per Vedic scripture. And then later, after 40 years, we are hearing that yes, they did not go to the moon. It was all enacted and shot in the studio. Prabhupada, what he said at that time came true now. So Vedic Shastra is actually true. Actually true. I love not man less, but nature more. Lord Byron. Yeah, thank you, Pramila. Right. Any other question or comment? You may raise your hands also if you want digitally and I can recognize you. Okay. Om Tat Sat. Good night. Sweet dreams of Krishna. Take part and be part of nature's ecosystem in connection with Krishna. And let's work together to make a nice community of Bhagavad Gita's followers and give this understanding to others and enlarge the community. This will please Krishna very much. This will please Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada very much. And because of that, Krishna will give you blessings. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. Good night.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.